We are facing a situation for these patients in which we can't offer anything of value actually. Today, after failure of combined immunochemotherapy, the outcome for the younger transplant-eligible patients is very poor. It's below 20% for 80% of the patients, because most of our patients, these 80%, they relapse within the first year after treatment, or they have primary progressive disease. And if so, the outcome with high-dose chemotherapy is very poor. Only half of the patients will make it up to high dose. Half of the patients will progress while receiving salvage treatment. But this, we're always talking about the younger patients, but keep in mind the older ones, because just looking at diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, 3/4 of the patients will be older than 65 years at first diagnosis. So these patients do not qualify for high-dose chemotherapy anyway. What can we offer them? So standard of care, kind of standard, is rituximab plus GemOx, gemcitabine, oxaliplatin. And what we see in these patients is a median progression-free survival of 4 months. So this is poorer than for lung cancer, for example. And this is the situation we have today. So in fact, we can't offer our relapsing or refractory patients anything of value. And this has changed dramatically with the CAR T cells. And there's different products around. They all share the same features in that they have really high response rates, much higher than we can achieve with chemotherapy or with anything else. And importantly, there's quite a number, about a third of patients achieving a complete remission. And in these patients so far, there's very few relapses. So this is the only pitfall, I'd say, today, that the follow-up of all of these trials is rather short. So we don't know much beyond 1 year, and we should know before we claim a new standard of care, obviously. But so far, what we know is that patients in CR tend to maintain the remission and might be cured. I don't say that they are cured, it's too early, but it looks definitely much better than with anything else we had so far. And that's why I don't see an alternative. There's a question, I don't understand the question. Obviously, it will become standard of care, yes. When looking at this new option on the CAR T-cell treatment, obviously it's not only about efficacy, you have to keep in mind toxicity or safety as well. But what we have experienced, at least in Cologne, is that it was quite well manageable. We participated in the CTL019 trial, which now is the Novartis product, just for your information. And there were more than 150 patients enrolled into this trial and more than 100 patients treated, and there was not a single treatment-related death. So it's certainly safe in terms of severe adverse events. However, we have to be familiar with cytokine release syndrome, which can be very severe. You have to have an ICU, which is experienced with these patients. And also we have CNS events, neuropathy, CNS events, which might be complicated. And you have to be aware of these side effects. It's not really easy, the treatment, but it can be safely managed. And this is also different from more aggressive approaches, for example, like an allogeneic transplant for the younger patients, especially in this situation for relapsed high-grade lymphoma. Treatment-related mortality with allogeneic transplant is around 30%, and again, it's 0 for CAR T cells. So although it's not easy, it's certainly much easier than anything else we have today.